Hello, you guys. Oh my God. It is a little bit cooler here today. I've got my big jacket on and I've just been out coffee coaching with the very fabulous Jeremy and Kim. But consequently, I've come home and I'm freaking freezing. It's been a bit breezy, so I felt a little bit windswept. It's been completely ridiculous. Hi there. How are you, Power? Hey, Neri. So what I wanted to chat with you about is this, right? So for some of you, we get really good at saying, oh, I want this, but it's not here yet. Or I want this thing, but I don't know how it's going to work. Or you've kind of like put in your order for what you want, like the goals that you want to hit. And then we'll often expect that it's not going to happen. Or we do the, oh, but it's not here yet. Oh, but it hasn't happened yet. And all of this kind of thing. So one of the things that I just wanted to remind you of today is that deciding on what it is that you want requires you to almost put your order in like what you would for coffee. So this morning I rolled up to the counter, I've ordered our coffee, I've gone and sat down. Now, I did not for a second think that the coffee was not going to hit the table. I did not, I just expected. It's not even a belief that I had to instill. It wasn't something that I had to rewind my brain to think about the positive outcome of it. It was just like, I ordered my coffee. Of course it's going to show up the way that I've ordered it, the way that I want it to. So sometimes what we'll do with our goals, our business, our money, the things that we want to achieve and hit, we'll go, oh, look, this is what I want. And then you'll be sitting there and it might not land on the table that you're sitting at quite as quickly as what you might like. And you go, oh, I knew I wasn't going to hit it. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew that it was going to go pear-shaped, or that it wasn't going to arrive, or, why is it taking so fucking long? And whatever other stories it is that we tell. Now, what happens from an energetic perspective is when you land in that mindset, you're like, oh, it's taking so long. Or, I'm sitting here waiting, like, what are they doing back there? Like, the more we question it, the more we kind of repel that thing from happening, right? So what we want to do, hey, Andrea, what we want to do instead, excuse me, is sneeze, not so elegantly, is we want to put our order into the universe for what it is that we want. And we want to get into that mindset of just expecting that it's going to happen. When you order a coffee, we don't need to know how they're grinding the beans, how they're making the coffee machine work. We don't know, unless you want like milk lab milk. You don't need to necessarily know like where the milk has come from, how it's been produced, whether it's almond milk, macadamia milk, whatever it is that you want. We don't need to know how the almonds go through their production or how the macadamia milk, you guys, is, if you haven't had coffee with macadamia milk, do yourself a favor. I freaking love it. I don't do dairy. Except for a little bit of cheese. Thanks, Andrea. So it's really, really, really delightful. You should totally try it. But we don't sit there and go, well, how are they doing that? Or how are they moving the things? And this is the thing that tends to happen when we're putting our manifestations in place or when we're setting our goals. We'll often go, well, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how that is going to play out. So our job is to really expect and trust that what we want is going to come to us. I was coaching a lady this week who, it's only Tuesday, so it must have been yesterday, or maybe it was Friday. And the conversation was around, like, she needs to bring in a new person. She's like, oh, but this always happens. This thing happens, and then this thing happens, and then this thing happens. Then I might not ever hear back from this person. And if you're going into something, you're putting in the order for that to happen, then guess what's going to happen? If you're constantly expecting that people are going to let you down, if you're constantly expecting that no one's going to turn up on your live streams, if you're always expecting that no matter how much work you do, nothing freaking works, guess what? Shit ain't going to work, sweetheart. It doesn't work like that, right? What we expect is what we get. And the reason for that is we tune in the part of our brain. So we've got a part of our brain called our RAS. And what that does, it acts like a homing signal almost for the things that we are programming ourselves to look for. So for example, if I was to go to the store and decided that I needed a new top, I would probably go and look at the black or the white things, because that's what I always wear black and white. Sometimes I'll wear color, like pops of color, but primarily it's black and white. So I'll go to the store, and without even realizing it, I'll often just gravitate to the black stuff, right? And then I'll come home and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put that black top next to my 50 other black tops. I actually sorted out my closet a few weeks ago, and I've got like a massive black section and a massive white section and a little bit of gray. And I literally laughed out loud. And I said to my husband's gone like, what are you laughing at? I said, I've just looked at my wardrobe and it's literally black and white with a little bit of gray. I said, here am I, I've got little pops of color in my jackets and sequins in the jacket section and whatever else, but pretty much it's like black and white. So what happens when we walk into a store, or whether you're looking online, our RAS looks for more of the same. So it keeps looking for the thing that we've been either consciously or unconsciously programmed to look for. And that can become habitual. So if you, when you're like, oh, I need to go and get a new top, and then you go and then you find something, you bring it home. And if you haven't consciously thought about what you're buying or being really specific, then chances are you'll come home with a top that is probably really similar to something else that is already hanging in your closet. So that's your RAS working. Or like, when you're thinking about a new car, right? And you're like, no one has got these cars. And then you buy the car and then you see the same car in the same color everywhere, right? That's your RAS. We play Spotto with the kids. And so we're always looking for yellow cars, right? So as soon as we see a yellow car, it's like Spotto. So we've programmed our RAS to look for the yellow cars to the exclusion of all else. Like, we don't really pay attention to any other colors of cars. It's just the yellow ones that we're always looking for. So in your life, in your business, in what you're paying attention to, and with your audience and with your marketing and with your clients, if you're always if you're always thinking about the worst thing that could happen, then that is what you'll see. Classic case of this happened yesterday. So we saw, I don't know if you guys have seen the Shakira, Jennifer Lopez halftime entertainment at the Super Bowl yesterday. Freaking, in my opinion, insanely awesome. I'm like, oh, if I could grow up to be like them, I will be very, very happy. Hashtag body goals, ridiculously amazing and really inspiring actually. But there was I saw maybe 2 posts of people that were saying I can't believe all the hate that these women are getting, and I was like, oh, I haven't even seen any of that negative stuff. I haven't seen it. It hasn't come through my feed. I don't know if I just have really positive people in my news feed or what was going on, but I didn't notice any of the haters. And then there was somebody said something last night about how much flack they've got, and I actually went looking to see what I could find. And I was astonished at how, particularly women, how they were tearing shreds of the performances of these women. I just thought it was really, really interesting. So I don't go, and I'm sure those posts existed before I went looking for them. It's just not something I'm always looking for the positive experience. I'm looking for that. That's really what I expect. I only expect to see the good stuff, right? So the thing that I'm really wanting to hammer home for you today is that if you're expecting things to not work, then chances are things are not going to work. If you're expecting people won't respond, people are probably not going to respond. If you're expecting the order that you put in, and think about it, the order I'm putting in is to have to be wildly successful. I want to have a really successful launch. I want people to follow what it is that I'm doing. I want to create all of these amazing things, right? Then that's more of what you're going to see. Andrea, yeah, exactly. It was only when I went looking for the hate, because I saw a couple of people just being like, this is insane. So, and then I went and had a look, Rebecca, they look so amazing. Women can be so cruel. Is it just jealousy? I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it's jealousy. I think part of it, I mean, it was Latin dancing. Latin dancing is typically really hippie, like lots of movement. Is it like a salsa kind of dance? Like they're sexy women coming from a very sexy part of the world. And, it's just like, why tear strips off these people who are obviously very fit, very strong, and just really freaking amazing at what it is that they do. They're performers, for fuck's sake, Anyway, I don't know why people feel like they need to, tear other people down. I just don't understand. We hear about stories all the time. I've had people be nasty to me. Like, literally, people be nasty to me because of how I am, how I do things and stuff like this, over the years. And it's like, well, how about you go and do your own shit instead of, poking shit at me? It's just really weird. It's just really fascinating. And I think there is in Australia particularly, there's a really tall poppy syndrome. Like really, really bad. I think it's actually, from what I've seen and heard, I don't think it's as bad in the States. But it's just really fascinating. Why can't we freaking celebrate these amazing humans who are doing wonderful things? I mean, it's like Madonna or, Cher or, Gwen Stefani. Actually, there was another one I noticed the other day. I thought Gwen Stefani, I saw her at the Grammys that have just been, or the AMAs that have just been run in the States. And Gwen Stefani is just, I love her. I think we all know that. And she was there like in this little mini dress, over the knee boots with Blake, like looking freaking hot. And I'm just like, this woman looks amazing. Again, hashtag goals. And then there was somebody talked about, someone talked about something, again, like about how amazing she looks, but then that they had witnessed the negativity that would been thrown at her. So I've gone and looked to try and find something. And there was this whole thing about how, she used to look really pretty and now she just looks plastic, and, why did she revert to plastic surgery? And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, you guys, just take people as they are. It's just really, really interesting. So if you go looking for stuff, you'll see it. If you expect the backlash, if you expect that people are going to ignore you, if you expect that people are going to be nasty, or if you expect haters, then the chances of you getting them are going to be a lot higher, right? Because that's like our energy is so freaking powerful, and our expectations are so powerful that we don't realize how much our energy and what we focus on and what we think about actually comes into being. So, be mindful of that. So it works both ways. But the really key point here, I think, for me that I wanted to hammer home was you don't order a coffee or a meal at a restaurant and expect it to not turn up. We also don't need to know how it was all prepared. We don't need to know how the breadcrumbs were made. We don't need to know like all of the things, unless you're gluten-free, and then you might want to be really careful about what kinds of crumbing is used on your schnitzel, for instance. But really, at the end of the day, we've got to be really careful about what we're expecting, okay? Andrea, I can't believe anyone would be mean to you, Nicola. You're just so happy and approachable, crazy people. Oh, why, thank you. You're very gorgeous. But I think that's a big reason why some people do. Anyway. We've had people hang shit on me because of the way I look, the way I speak, the way I flick my hair. It's just whatever. I don't even care. Like, each to their own, whatever. You don't like my hair flicking or my costume changes or the way that I speak or the way that I swear, that's fine. Go away and find someone else to follow. But people are really interesting, and I think that it says more about them than it does about you, right? No matter how people are. And you can still be, your opinion of me. Like, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. And I'm really grateful that that's your opinion of me, but that's not what everybody's opinion of me is. And that's fine. I don't really care. It's, it is what it is. I used to care. It's been a muscle that I've built, the not caring thing, or not caring as much, because I do care what people think. But these days it doesn't derail me, right? Whereas back in the day, if I knew that somebody thought that I'd done the wrong thing or said the wrong thing or whatever, like I would try and adjust my approach. But the thing is like people are going to like you or not like you no matter how you are, right? So the thing that you've got to do is be able to lead from who you are, put your best foot forward, whether you're like J-Lo or, Celeste Barber or, Gwen Stefani or whoever. You've just got to freaking own you and what you're all about and lead from that place, because it's too fucking exhausting trying to please everyone. And it's also freaking impossible. You can't possibly please everyone. And that's just how it is. For some people, they're like, oh my God, Nicola, you talk too much. I can't possibly listen to you. Kelly, who loves me, told me this morning, she was like yelling in her head at me yesterday, like, I can't do this extra 20% thing, Nicola. Shut up. You're exhausting. Doesn't mean she doesn't still love me, right? Because she does love me. I know she does. Rebecca, celebrating other people's success and talent is such a better use of our energy. Exactly. How freaking brave. I'm sorry, but how brave it takes so much to put ourselves out there, right? And I know that I read something about Jennifer Lopez actually. Maybe in the last 6 months, about how, she still had imposter syndrome worries, right? And about how she's still like, oh, what if they don't like me? What if I screw it up? But that's where like all we've got to come back to is, hang on a second. Am I good at what I do? Do I know my stuff? Have I practiced? I'm thinking about a performance, have I rehearsed? Have I got this down? Can I get up, show up and do the best that I could possibly do and be? And like, yeah. And I mean, my opinion, the Super Bowl, again, great example. I think it was freaking amazing what they did. Other people freaking hate it. Other people sit on the fence. It's just like, you know what? Everyone's going to have a freaking opinion. To try and bend and contort yourself, whether you're on a pole or not. If you're trying to bend and contort yourself into trying to appeal to everyone, number one, you'll be here all day, every freaking day, not being you, not staying true to who you are, and not being able to find your voice, right? You've really got to be okay with you being you, but being the best version of you, right? Always being the best version of you. Kind of goes without saying. Andrea, that's exactly a muscle to build up and resilience. Yeah, it is. And actually it's really interesting at different times, things have impacted, depending on what it is, things have impacted me personally, and I'm sure you guys are the same. Things have impacted me more personally than others. And this is where it's super important that you guys have got a network of people around you who can remind you if you're feeling a little bit low, right? If you're feeling a little bit like your confidence has taken a bit of a hit. Maybe something didn't go quite the way that you wanted, even though you put your order in and you expected it was going to come, like maybe it hasn't kind of come through yet. But you've got to have people around you who are like cheering you on, reminding you of your own brilliance, reminding you of your amazingness, because it's really hard to stay your own cheerleader all the time. Particularly if you haven't got the evidence around you, the instant evidence, because a lot of us like that instant gratification and the external evidence to remind us that we're valid, that we're worthy, that we're awesome, and this, that, and the other. Have people around you to remind yourself of all of that so that you can build that muscle. It's like a spotter at the gym, right? Like, oh my God, yes, you can do that. Yes, you can do that. And you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking dying. And they're like, you can do 5 more. And you're like, oh, I'm dead. And they might just lift it a little bit for you just so that you can get through. That kind of thing. We need people around us. Carrie, yes, I needed to be reminded of that. Own me and stop worrying. 100%. 1,000,000,000% actually. Yeah. Worrying is just, it's a waste of an emotion because you're living in the land of what if, right? Living in the land of what if. And when you're living in the land of what if, you can't live in the land of expecting the good things, right? Now, I know where I would prefer to live. I'd rather be classified as being fucking delusional with going, you know what, it's going to work out. This is going to be awesome. And, you know, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to add value and I'm going to do me and, you know, like me or not, whatever. It's like, it's up to you. I expect that people who come across me are going to love me. And you either do or you don't, but like, whatever, like, it's fine. So, you know, just do you, because like the worrying is such it's a sticky, heavy energy that holds you back from really getting out there and helping the people that you need to be able to help, that you're here to help. So yeah, that's my little rant on that. Chrissy, I'm a great believer of bringing people up, not down, genuinely, and having good energy. 100%. Yeah, I could not agree with you more. Andrea, I love my gold stars. Yes, me too. External validation is great, but you've also got to have a way of being able to, you know, have that internal validation as well, right? Because otherwise we can get really good at going, oh, I didn't get that positive feedback. Maybe it was really shit. But that doesn't mean that at all, right? So there you go, my friends. That is us for today. Order the coffee in the way that you want and just expect that it's going to arrive exactly the way that you want. Order the things that you want to achieve in the way that you want to achieve them and bring them into your world, and then expect that it's going to happen. And just be okay with it coming through in divine right timing, right? So there's a universal law of divine right timing. And just because you say that you want what you want doesn't necessarily mean energetically that the timing is 100% right for you to manifest that in the time frame that you want it to be done, right? We've got to practice patience and persistence and showing up and just really maintaining that expectation that it will come, and that further reinforces that it will come through if it is yours to have. So one of the things that I'll just leave you with is it's this or something better, right? So this is what I want or something better. This is what I'm moving towards or something better. This is what I want to manifest or something better. So it could be your financial goals, it could be partner goals, it could be body goals like Jennifer Lopez or something better. You know, whatever is you know, divinely you, divinely yours. So there you go, my friends. Have a super fantastic and awesome and amazing day. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me on this colder Tuesday morning here in Mildura. I will wish you a good day. Get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. Remember, put your order in and expect it's going to show up. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. Bye.